Alright now, side yard skunk horse coming at you again. Did a little work on the old 1 ton today, as I promised y'all. And now you see why I had blocks in the springs. This is the actual leaf spring off the left side only. Unfortunately, I've got another set, and plus I've got the overloads off of it. The overloads are in fine shape. Nothing wrong with them. Which the overloads hit these tangs right here and right here. But that's supposed to be all in one piece, and obviously it isn't. And we had to disassemble the overloads from it. It has a spring tie bolt that goes all the way through the bolt, or all the way through the springs to keep them all together. And of course it was so deteriorated we had to actually cut it. But you can see the springs just slide off of it. And it's basically one long bolt that goes down through here. It's got a round head on the bottom. It sits down in the leaf spring pocket. Sits in that whole leaf spring pocket. And yes, it hasn't been cleaned up yet. We just now got it apart. And this is an interesting setup here. This had actually greasable mounting bolts for the, or mounting shafts, shall we say, for the leaf springs. The leaf springs go into the shackles. And this is an example of it right here. You notice it's got a cutout in it. So it goes through the spring, right through this into the spring. And once it's in place, the bolt goes through here and tightens up. It's an interesting looking little critter too. And that's it there. It pulls all the way up in there. This part right here pulls all the way up in there. Because that's what actually holds the thing in place. You can see a little wear on that one. It's not really wear, it's more of a pilot for it to make it easier to go in. That's where the problems begin. Got springs off of a later model because you can't obviously buy springs for this model. Or if you can, I can't seem to find them. But that's okay because I got the later model springs. I just got to get a longer tie bolt and put the overloads on it so they'll catch on this in case we put too much load on it. Now the difference is that big shaft will not go through the eyes of the new leaf springs because they are rubber bushed so that they're strong, or so that they're a little better ride. So I scratched my head and went and looked at my other truck. So well, maybe I'll just pull the shackle mounts off and put them on this one. And they are completely and totally different. Well, I could modify it and make them go on there. That's a lot of rivets. You notice it's riveted on both frames. You have to cut the rivets off, knock them out, and then put it back with grade 8 bolts. Or I can do the alternative, which is possibly the way I'm going to go, and get a bushing to go between, that goes in here, in this little area right here, that'll slide onto the bolt. And that way I'll still retain my cushioned ride from the rubber. And which likes to be quieter going on the road. It won't clang and clunk. It won't be greasable, but this thing's not going in the mud anyway. We'll work with it some, but it's not going to be just an all-out pull a trailer across the nation thing. That and the other issue we ran into, to get the top pin out of the shackle on the back, you gotta actually pull the bottom pin out and get it out so you can pull it out. Because this piece right here sits right here, so you can't get to it. Now, in the process of knocking the bottom out, look at what happened. I don't know if it was already broken or if we did that. Either way, it's pretty useless. This thing's had bushings in it to start with. There's it gone. And you can see it's egg-shaped, so that ain't good. But I think going with the bushing idea, because these shackle mounts are solid, in good shape, no issues. Might as well reuse them. I'll have a double bushing set on now to where it'll ride better, be quieter. It should work just fine. But like I said, that's one piece leaf spring right there. You can see kind of had a little load on this truck at one time or another. Snapped every one of those. And yes, there's a major pile of them. It should be a whole pack like that. You can see some broken ones in the other pack. I'm only doing one side at a time here. That way we don't have to support but one side of the truck at a time. And of course it goes on. There's the saddle down there. Grab it. Out. the lower saddle off the axle. Goes into the bottom of the axle that the U-bolts slide through. There's your U-bolts. And we're out here, this is no joke, guys. We had a, guys and girls, who all watches this? Folks, how about folks? We'll just use folks. Here, folks, this is the way things are done. The way things are done around here, so we get the breaker bar on it. And take my little jack handle here, which is, I want to say 3.5 feet. And had that on the breaker bar and 2 of us on it to break these U-bolts loose. Them son of a guns were tight. In fact, it even egg-shaped one of the nuts. You can kind of see there's a little lip on it now. That's not supposed to be on there. It's supposed to look like that. But anyway. Don't look like anybody's greased these shackles in a long time anyway. We're going to get away from the greasable shackles. Like I said, I don't plan on running this thing through the mud. This thing has been in the river bottoms. That's where this truck come out of. It's been all of its life, I think, in river bottoms. And so we're constantly digging sand and dirt and everything out of it. There's some right there. And if you look, you can see dirt all along the ground here where we knocked it out. That's real fun when you're underneath pulling on wrenches. And, well, there's some more leaf spring on the ground. But you can see it around. If you're underneath it, pulling on wrenches, it all goes in your eyes and ears and nose, and Lord help, don't open your mouth. It sure will go down your throat and make you cough. Sound like I speak from experience, doesn't it? Anyway, that's where we're at now. Got to pick up spring tie bolts and some bushings to go in the shackle mounts, and then we can go back together with it. Should be well, of course, clean up. I'll clean it up real good. Then I'll put it back together. And I'll show you all the finished product when we're done. More to come. Y'all keep watching. Appreciate it.